that a thing?
People can see us. They can hear us,
God.
I think.
Yes. I'm scared. I don't know if I want people to see who I am, Sean.
Ryan, bonus most shows do post-show. We're doing pre-show. 100 games to play before you die. We're going to go with this one right in the middle. Oh, Sonic. Wow.
One of the best.
How about I just
one
rip
of
these
the
pages?
Best games of all time.
I will say that looks great though. Like that spread, that looks really. You don't get this on the World Wide Web. You know, only in magazines do you get a nice spread like that, man. That looks so good.
It's true. You know, you got to go with got to find the old school magazines to get that kind of.
They just ripped this off of Scott Pilgrim though.
Of course,
Scott Pilgrim did it first.
It was Scott Pilgrim totally did that before Sonic did.
Definitely, yeah.
That's totally a thing.
Because Sonic is unoriginal.
You would never make something like that up, Sean.
No, I know exactly what I'm talking about.
Of course. I'm gonna press my on-air light so people know we're on air.
Hi, Kevin.
But that's funny. You brought up that magazine once again, Sean. Every episode.
There's a lot of pages in it, man. I haven't read it at all. Like I gotta get my value out of it.
You could go to a random page for 100 episodes straight, Sean, and we'd finally go through the whole book.
That's true. Why don't I do another one since Lee Navarro is here? Ultimate Retro PC Gamer Collection. Let's go random. What is this? RPG Quest. Do you know what this game is, Ryan?
No.
What? Look at this spread. Oh yeah, spread them, Ryan.
That's something that looks like 80s or 90s box art.
CRPG.
Boo and hiss, Sean.
How about we open every episode with me reading a few pages out of this stuff? We got to get Locklith on this ASMR bedtime stories.
I was thinking about that when you guys were talking about that idea last night. Like, what if there's like a YouTube short where it's like almost like fireside stories.
Yep.
Locklith reads from the book of blank, and you can do, because I remember there was like on Up at Noon on IGN, the Greg Miller show. He would have this weekly segment with Cliff Blazinski where he would read from the Book of Doom, and it was just like this random Doom novel they found. And he would just read it would be like a 1 or 2 minute segment, Sean, where he would just read like a passage from it. Like
that's so
I'm almost imagining that is like what Locklith could do, where we just find like a random like video game novel, because like all those video game novels are out there, like the Halo novels and stuff like that.
Yep.
And then have read like a passage or two from that. That would be interesting.
Well, maybe Locklith can start that after you start your Sims stream. What do you think about that?
Please,
you son of a gun.
And anyways, we should probably get.
Hey everyone, it's me, Sean Capri. I'm glad you're here because you're listening to the most horsepowerful podcast on the internet. It's the Xbox Drive. I'm on a Skype call with my friend Brian Murford, the weatherman on the moose, and on our journey today, there's some Halo news, and Silent Hills aren't so silent anymore. So jump on into that there Xbox Drive. Bra 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 bra.
Greater than X.
Brian Murford, the weatherman on the moose. How are you today, Brian Murford?
I'm just gonna stare at you like this, Sean, and not acknowledge your presence beyond
Brian Murford
until you actually, stop calling me that.
This is what you get for renaming Taylor, aka TPR, Trevor. So it's
okay. I didn't rename him. Dyslexia took over, and I came up with a different name that sounded similar.
Oh
by
my
accident.
gosh, Ryan. Speaking of dyslexia, I saw a couple of good dyslexia jokes out there. If it's maybe a little offside to say, but Ryan, if life gives you melons, you might have dyslexia.
That's true, and just like if life gives you lemons, you clone those lemons to make super lemons. That's a Clone High reference for those that are looking for a deep cut on this show.
I said melons because it's close, but it's mixed up because of dyslexia. Okay, hi Ryan.
Oh, of course. Hello, Sean. I hope you're doing well today. In fact, I'm going to ask you, how are you doing, Sean?
Oh, I feel pretty good. I slept in a little this morning. I'm supposed to get up early and go for a workout, but I didn't do it. But I'm here. I didn't even know we were going to do the show today. I thought we were doing it tomorrow, but we're flying by the seat of our pants. And yeah, life is good, man. I'm happy to be here. I'm not starting a podcast with I'm tired. I'm pumped, man. It's Xbox. It's video games. Let's do this. I've got cold coffee from this morning.
As for me, Sean, I'm tired. Life kind of sucks.
Stop it.
I'm just kidding. I went to the dentist today, Sean. That was my afternoon. That was kind of my wake up call this morning. And it was, as fun as the dentist usually is. So, but it's a nice, cool, crisp 8 degrees outside here in Toronto. Looks like it's going to rain a little bit later, because, chance of precipitation very high this afternoon, Sean. That's enough to just make Sean go,
I'm leaving.
sit in his chair.
I'm leaving.
Excellent. Oh God. Well, anyways, we should probably get into the show.
Have you started streaming Sims yet, Ryan? Have you? What's going on here? The people
let's
want
clean
the Sims.
The garage
all right,
a little
all
bit.
right.
So, folks at home, if you want to support the show, there's a number of awesome ways to do that. Number one, if you're watching the live stream right now over at youtube.com/carpoolgaming, or if you're watching the video on demand later, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and then ding, 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 ring that bell to be notified whenever we go live like this, or whenever we put up new videos like the bajillion shorts that Court Lalonde and Seth Sturgill.
Yes. We have evolved, man. We're taking the next level. The shorts are crushing it. The little clips, everything. I'm a very happy boy right now. It's very nice.
There's been some good ones. So if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, you're missing out.
Yep.
So come on over, subscribe, and check out our content here. Also, if you're listening on audio feeds, don't forget to rate us 5 stars if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. And if you want, this show a little bit early or some exclusive content, head on over to Patreon, patreon.com/Yumi Capri. Their little tip in the tip jar, and out comes content. Also, I said patreon.com/Yumi Capri. That's a mistake.
Wow. I didn't even realize it.
I haven't done that in a while. It's because I was thinking about the Yumi Capri podcast. I was going to plug it, Sean.
Yeah, there you go.
But then, dyslexia took over. Last but not least, of course, we have a merch store. If you want an Xbox Drive t-shirt or any other Carpool Gaming branded merch, head on over to our merch store, bit.ly/CPG merch. And then I lied, last bit of news as well. Extra Life is 17 days away, Sean. We will be live in Rome, New York, November 4th through 5th with our friends over at Save the Game Media and the Trophy Room. We've all come together. If you're interested in donating, first of all, link is in the show notes or the description of this video. But we have some amazing prizes we are giving away, including a God of War Ragnarok Collector's Edition from our friends over at the Trophy Room, or what I think is probably even the better prize, Sean, to one up Joe a little bit, is this Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker's Collector's Box. I'm going to pick it up.
Oh,
it's a really big box. So this Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker Collector's Box, there's only like 1,000 of these in the world. They're very expensive. So if you want one of these, if you want to enter, every $10, I believe, gets you one entry that you donate. So make sure to head on over to our Extra Life link, extralife.org/participant/save the carpool trophy. But Sean, before we move on, we got to discuss this because I wanted to leave this segment for you. What kind of shirt do we have for Extra Life? Because we have a shirt.
We are going to give away. We have to add this to the page. So if you're going right now, it might not be there, but I'm going to add it, and we're going to have more highlights on this on social media. But everybody knows how much I hate Jar Jar Binks. This is the longest running, totally overused joke, but people seem to like it. And so Court Lalonde and Locklith have teamed up and they have designed a Jar Jar Binks shirt. We will give away one of these shirts to one lucky winner on Extra Life. So stay tuned to our socials. We'll show the picture up there. Locklith actually drew it, and it is horrifying in all of the best ways possible. We're doing it for the kids. That's the only reason this exists. And we want to make sure that we leverage this so that we can crush those body hair obsessed Nintendo dads over there. They're sitting there in their bathrooms trimming all the naughty places. We got to crush these guys. I know we're doing it for the kids, but the Nintendo dads can't do as good a job as us. We have the best possible fundraising, got the best possible prizes, got the best possible community. Let's do it. We're not burying Skinny Matt this year, okay? Skinny Matt, you're safe. Yeah. Skinny Matt can join us in grab our shovels and bury those Nintendo dads one dirt granule at a time, Ryan Turford. Let's do it.
We need to get that GIF going, Sean. The burying Nintendo dads GIF.
Yes.
At some point. Rago, get on it. We need a GIF to go around like that. But of course, the rivalry for the most part mostly exists because they're the only other team there with a couch, Sean, besides us.
That's true.
And we can't let another podcast outlet with a couch beat us.
Definitely not.
That just can't happen.
We hope they do great. Obviously, we want to raise a bunch of money. We have to beat them. We must do better. All the drama at Extra Life. Lee Navarro is in the chat. We're getting ready, man. I'm going to be checking it. I got to pack. I got to do things. You're going to be playing Magic the Gathering for most of the time, I think. We're going to have challenges.
It's only for 4 hours, and then we're going to maybe do a Commander game or two after that.
Oh, so. I cannot wait, dude. It's going to be amazing. Yeah. And we're going to try and get on as many people onto this couch as possible. We got lots more challenges, lots of stuff to give away. We didn't mention Game Pass as well. We got tons of codes thanks to Xbox Canada for Game Pass. So yeah, we've always had great support for Extra Life. It's always been a big deal. We're all going to be touching each other this time. That's going to be the difference. So bring your hand sanitizer and let's stay safe. But lots of touching and hugging. Yeah, man.
Now, Sean, I have to acknowledge this comment in the chat from Bowza as well, because she asks, when do we start getting the Extra Life weather forecasts? And the answer is,
that might be important.
You'll get them a week out. I will be giving you the
7 day
Extra Life weather report on like the Xbox Drive the week before. So,
if it's raining, we're sending Ryan outside for a live weather forecast. Like, there's a 30% chance it's already raining.
I'm gonna bring my umbrella, Sean. It'll be fine.
Oh my goodness, great. Are you really?
Well, actually, maybe I will. It depends on what the weather report actually looks like, because again, I will be on top of it being the weatherman on the moose, so I will know what
oh my gosh, we need to get you a moose. We need to get you to stand on something.
An actual moose? Mm-hmm. Just cuz. All right. Well, anyways, let's grab our 8-tracks, Sean. Pop them in. It is time for the playlist to talk about all the games that we played, and your list looks very similar to last week, Sean, so I'm going to ask you, what'd you play?
I'm obsessed with Forza Horizon 5, of course. I don't think there's anything to add on that. I'm playing it like I am beyond obsessed. It's like I actually can't. I've gotten to the point where beyond the point where normally it'd be I've got 50 minutes, I can go play this. It's now like, what can I not do so that I can play more Forza Horizon? Like what a game! I just love it. I'm like, is this my favorite game of all time? It's getting up there, man. It's getting there. But last week, Kevin Ainsworth asked us about a game called Proteus that I wasn't sure about, and so I played that a little bit. It's the boomer shooter. It's for the shooters for us oldies who used to play these games. Did you know that was a thing? That was a term?
I did not know that was a term until just now, Sean, and now you're breaking my brain.
I actually don't even know if I'm doing the thing I say not to do, which is give it life and power. But apparently that's what the kiddos are calling these things that are designed by older ones. But I have to say, it's a totally competent shooter, like gory, over the top, kind of just, 1996 through 1999 kind of style of shooter. But the whole time I was kind of thinking, like, maybe I just would rather play Quake or Unreal, or I just wish that we had remasters of those, like bring those back, Epic. Like they're never going to happen, but those are some of my favorite games. So yeah, it's neat. I'm glad that it exists. It's early access. It's on Game Pass. People could check it out, but there's a lot of these coming around. But yeah, I was kind of thinking, like, I'd rather drive around, I guess, right now.
No, especially with like when you get, companies that are really trying to evoke the feeling of an older game.
Right.
I find like sometimes they fall into that trap. Like Axiom Verge, for example, was a game that I know, people liked, but when I played it, I just felt like, even though like it was a fine game, I'd rather just be playing a Metroid game, or Castlevania game, or just any other like as well-established Metroidvania at that point.
It's tough, isn't it?
Yeah, like it's tough to break into it.
Well, like what about I don't know, maybe they just can't happen now because Shovel Knight did it, and like that game is special in such an amazing way because it's totally an homage to all these different games, but maybe it's because there's more kind of smushed in there rather than just a Metroid game.
Shovel Knight is like an homage to a bunch of different games.
That's what I'm saying.
And it's not like. Yeah, and it's not like it's very much its own thing. It has its own unique identity. Mm-hmm. Whereas I felt like a game like Axiom Verge, just to use it as an example, just even though it had like this weird like computer, inside of a computer feeling to it, it still didn't really feel like it had its own identity in the same way that Shovel Knight kind of does.
That's exactly how I feel about Proteus. Like I think it was hanging its hat on like gore and old school graphics instead of something else. I don't know. And it's hard to do that because it's not like you have a whole bunch of room for exposition. Anyways. So yeah, Proteus was cool, but I'm still going to play this and I'm looking forward to Call of Duty later on this week. I have a question for you, maybe for the chat as well. I could probably like Google this. I think there's a website I could search for this information. The pre-order bonus, getting you early access to campaign, is that PlayStation only or is that also on Xbox?
It's everything.
So is that available like now? Can I do that like now? Can I play campaign right now? When does that happen?
No. It's on Friday, so the 21st, because they do it because Call of Duty comes out, the full game comes out next Friday.
Oh, okay. Well, then there you go. All right, cancel my Friday plans. Except, actually, I don't want to give it away just in case somebody cancels. But we've got a great guest coming up on We the GamerCast coming up soon. I'll talk to you on Friday, my friend. You know who you are. Yeah.
And it's not me.
It's
Sean
not Ryan.
was pointing at me while he was saying this, but it's not actually me.
That's true.
As for me, Sean, I played some interesting stuff this week. So first off, I'm playing more Overwatch 2. I talked about it a ton on the last 2 episodes now, so I'm not going to dive into it. Not much.
Wait a second. I'm sorry. I played Uncharted 4. People should check out my review. That's part of the reason that I've been a little bit like, I'm just playing like this thing. I don't really love saying I'm playing a game that I'm not allowed to talk about. I think that's kind of douchey, so I don't say it. But I have been playing that. I played quite a lot Uncharted 4 on PC. My review alongside Mr. Court Lalonde right here at youtube.com/carpoolgaming or on the PlayStation Drive podcast feed. So thanks to Ryan for putting the video together for us. And thanks to PlayStation Canada for the code on that. But that's what I wanted to tell you about too.
Absolutely, and it kind of fits in the theme of this show as well, because it's on PC. Well. Yeah,
I played it with an Xbox controller. What do you think about that?
That's pretty awesome. Did it give you the Xbox button prompts while you were playing it as well?
Sure did. Yeah. It all. That's kind of amazing, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Picking up Uncharted treasures with the A button or the X button, the Y button,
A button on screen. Yeah.
Yep.
Pretty cool.
Good stuff.
So again, going back, I played Overwatch 2 some more. I've been, going in, doing my dailies. I'm not playing as much as I was over the last couple weeks, but I'm still having a lot of fun with the game. I'm like 3/4 of the way through the Battle Pass at this point. Because I ended up actually picking up the Battle Pass, and I think I'm actually going to be able to max it out before the season ends.
Nice.
So, I've been really enjoying it. I still like what they've done with it. But then just randomly, Sean, last night, I was like, I'm kind of in the mood for a Castlevania game. And I saw that Castlevania Lords of Shadow came to PlayStation Plus, PlayStation Plus Extra on PlayStation 5, which of course is the streaming version of the PS3 game. So I was like, I'll try this out. And it was a terrible experience. But then I remembered, I have this game on Xbox thanks to Games with Gold.
Damn.
And it plays on Series X, natively with enhancements. So I'm like, I'm going to reinstall this game there. And I had a great time revisiting this game. I had forgotten how much fun this game really was. Like, I never finished it back in the day. It's a game that I've started, a couple times, but never actually, gone through the full experience. It's basically a Castlevania game, but in the style of the older God of War games. So, it's got a fixed camera. It's very action and combo heavy. And the combat moves very quickly. It's got some great, cinematic moments, like when you're, doing this, like, you're running away from these werewolves on horseback, and you're like whacking out the werewolves off to the side. And then
why are the werewolves on horseback? Why can't they? They're fast. They're beasts.
No. The werewolves are riding on bigger werewolves.
Okay.
Yeah, I know it's a whole thing. It doesn't need to make sense. Okay.
All right.
But I've been really enjoying revisiting this game. And I like Mercury Steam as a developer, so I'm actually. Happy to be checking this one out. Well, I'm kind of in limbo because we talked about it on last week's show. I don't want to start anything too, big with, the big releases coming this week, because we do have, Mario plus Rabbids, and then Call of Duty, and then Gotham Knights on Friday. So, and then Persona 5. I kind of want to play that again too. So, yeah, lots of different stuff. I see you examining the Metroid Samus Returns case, Sean.
Did Mercury Steam make this game?
They sure did.
Yeah, so it was and then they got to do Dread because they kind of crushed this one. I bought this right next to you, actually. I was standing next to you.
And you still haven't played it.
Still haven't. This was a year ago, wasn't this at Fan Expo?
It was at Fan Expo last October.
Oh my gosh, I need to play I might have to bring my 3DS on the flight. I'm flying a lot this month. I'm going to Chicago next week, so shout out if you're in Chicago. Probably the 26th of October is probably my best day for that. So if you're in the Chicago area, hit me up, see what we can do about that. And then, New York the following week, my friend. Lots of travel.
Nice.
I got a book to write, though, too. I can actually be that guy on the flight, just like I'm writing my book.
Write a book. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Someone will look over and get it like a sneak preview of Sean's book.
Or I could play my 3DS.
You could. In fact, you could be like Garrett Bland, because Garrett just came back from Europe, and he was telling me he brought his 3DS. That was the only console he brought with him.
Ooh, that's awesome. What a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to be paralyzed by choice. Just do the thing. I should talk to Garrett, not to like put him on blast or anything, but I think he knows how to mod some of this stuff. So I might bring an extra 3DS and maybe my Vita as well. Maybe.
Yeah.
Allegedly, maybe. Garrett Bland knows how to mod this stuff.
Allegedly.
Or I'll send it to Bowser's mom, who modded her PS2, as told on the We the GamerCast podcast. There you go.
Don't listen to We the GamerCast to get the full story. Yeah. But last thing I mentioned, this Sims 4 weekly update.
Oh, thank you. Thank God. Why aren't we starting with this? This should be at the top of the show.
No, because I like to save the best for last, Sean.
Okay.
So continuing on with what's going on, I discovered, because I was looking through the achievement list, Sean, because I think I'm going to go for the 1,000 gamer score on Xbox, which is only going to take, 200 more hours to get. But, I learned that one of the skills I needed to max out was rocket science, which is a skill I didn't even know was in the game that existed because I didn't have any things that raised the rocket science skill. And it turns out, Sean, because I own a house, the reason I didn't know this was a thing before, because I own a house, I can build a rocket ship. So I built my own rocket ship, which then, raised up my rocket science skill. And then I fully kitted it out with all kinds of crazy upgrades, like being able to generate wormholes to teleport through space, kind of like Event Horizon, because what could possibly go wrong?
Yeah, it went fine.
Creating a black hole or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I built my own rocket ship, and I've been taking daily trips to space. Meeting different aliens on different planets. I got captured by space pirates, and they held me at ransom. But I was able to escape thanks to some choices that because it allows you to whatever it explains what's happening in space to you. It then will give you choices on, like, do you want to go into the scary cave where there's children singing, or do you want to run away from it as quickly as possible? And depending on your choices, it then gives you some rewards and stuff for exploring space. So I'm wearing my astronaut suit, Sean.
Yes.
I even joined the astronaut career for my sim. So I'm evoking my inner Sean Capri.
Thank you.
Just, go into space. All the time in this game.
You don't even know how Sean Capri that is. In Forza, you can get all these different costumes for your driver, and I am driving around in my car in an astronaut suit, full helmet and everything. That's kind of amazing. Dude, Bows in the chat says, wait, where do I get the rocket ship instructions? I didn't know this was a thing. You've buried the lead. I don't realize there was space in The Sims. This changes everything, Brian.
It's just, if you go to show all items in The Sims, there's a plot that you can build in the items for your skills.
Yeah.
That's for the rocket ship. So you basically it's like a little pad that it starts out as at first, and then you build the rocket ship yourself. And you can have multiple Sims work on the rocket at the same time to make it go faster. But I just built it myself, Sean.
Of course you did. Oh my gosh. People need to see this. At Ryan Turford. We also need somebody to create like a mock account for Brian Murford, which is like the best thing ever. Oh my gosh. Everybody is here in the chat. Good to see you guys.
Hashtag everyone is here. Well, I mean, this won't be the last time we talk about The Sims, because we have questions about this and a news story about The Sims.
Ooh.
So we're gonna talk about The Sims some more. So we should probably slam the brakes on this conversation, Sean, because it's time for some breaking news. And it's been an interesting news week this week. Some cool stories. We're gonna start off with 343 Industries have dropped a new video documentary detailing its Halo Infinite Winter Update, with 3 major features: the campaign online co-op, multiplayer content like enhancements to the leveling system and multiplayer maps themselves, as well as Forge mode launching in open beta next month. Now, we knew that this was a thing already, because they had announced all this stuff previously, and we talked about it on the show, I think, last month. But this just goes into more detail on how these are all going to be implemented. But I didn't get a chance to watch this video, Sean, because of when we had to plan this episode. But did you get a chance to check this out?
Yeah, man, it's pretty cool. And I will say, you're right, we have reported on this before, but like with Halo Infinite, you never know what's going to happen. This update could have been, actually, we canceled like the rest of the co-op as well. But like I was mostly just encouraged to see like that we're getting closer. I don't know if it's necessarily anything that's going to save Halo Infinite, but it's like it feels like building blocks. And we talk about Forge launching into open beta. It seems like the rest of it is also still kind of in beta as well. These features seem like something that builds towards a final product. But I am excited to see maybe people trying out co-op. I said right from last year, let me pause for a second. Last year when we played the game, I loved this game. It was my game of the year when we said what was our favorite games of the year. Like I adored the campaign for Halo Infinite, and I said then, and I'll say it now, I want to play with somebody else. I do want to play that campaign. Now, there's a ton of other stuff happening all at the exact same time. And it's a game that I technically have played before. I would love to play with somebody else, but we got this Call of Duty and we got this Mario and Rabbids that I decided not to buy, but who knows if that's going to stay true. Like, I've got lots of stuff going on, Ryan Turford. But I'm excited about that. I want to check out this new leveling piece as well. But yeah, we're still a little ways away on the Halo Infinite front.
Yeah, it sounds like, this update, first of all, it sounds like it's supposed to come out next month, which is not exciting, but the downside that comes along with it, as you kind of, pointed out, is the fact that there's just a bajillion games right now. And even next month, even if you there's going to be just too much to play, and this will probably get lost in the shuffle a little bit.
Yeah.
But this is the type of thing that, I'm glad that they're putting these building blocks in now. So, when we're ready to revisit this game, probably early next year, these will all be here. And I'm actually excited maybe for Halo Saturdays to return then at that point for us to maybe try out the co-op or, see what's different about the multiplayer map.
Yeah, that's a good point, man. I could see us doing that for sure. I could see definitely Actual Life, we're going to have to play Halo. We've got basically a LAN party happening there, which of course we can bring other people from around the world in as well. So Halo, we will be playing Halo soon enough. But I want to try out this campaign that I've loved playing. Did I play Reach with? I played Reach with you and a few others as well.
No, I was not there. I was watching you play. But you were playing with Mr. Badbait and a couple other people. So.
Yeah, man. The campaign co-op is so good. So glad to see it there. I'm hearing crazy things about Forge as well. They mentioned in this video that the maps for these new arena maps that are coming were built in Forge.
Yep.
So I love that
stuff. They
stuff.
mentioned last month as well.
Yeah. Super cool.
Crazy.
Yep. Cannot wait.
But in fact, I wouldn't be surprised if any new maps we get going forward will just be from Forge.
I honestly, dude, people can go back to listening to us talk about Forge over the last year, and I've been lukewarm at best on Forge, and I think this could be the dark horse feature that I had not seen coming. It's oh, whatever, user-generated content, for the most part, in my experience, has been so-so, but I think Forge has the potential to really surprise me just because my expectations were so low.
Yeah, because you're right. It really just depends on how the user-generated content is going to be curated more than anything, and where to find the good maps, and how well they're going to be balanced out. Again, I'm excited to. First of all, this probably means that most of the older Halo maps are going to get remade in Forge. People are going to take the time to do that, so you'll be able to play Battle Creek and stuff like that in Halo Infinite. But then also you're going to get wacky stuff like the GoldenEye maps. Someone's going to make all those maps, Facility and stuff like that too. So you're gonna get some wacky.
Please do on a Facility. Oh my gosh, Temple Complex, all of it.
Yeah, just playing Halo Infinite in Temple or Aztec, or all of these different.
What's
maps.
Battle Creek? Do you mean Beaver Creek?
Yeah, Battle Creek was the name in Halo 1 in Combat Evolved.
Oh, interesting.
It was renamed to Beaver Creek.
Beaver Creek's better.
Just like
my jacket.
Blood Gulch was renamed too.
Yes.
Something else. Yeah. There you go. So Halo Infinite, look out for that sometime next month. Well, next up, Sean, this is news I've been waiting for. I've been chomping at the bit waiting for this news to come in because we got, the initial announcement of this before, but now we have it finally in our hands here. Xbox Elite Series 2 controllers are now finally available.
Amazing.
Through Design Labs. The starting price is $189.99 Canadian. Yes, again, my brain is broken. But because I think it's $150 in the US, so $189.99 cents when you do the conversion.
Yep.
I've already been seeing a ton of our friends, posting all of their controller designs. I haven't actually had a chance to go do mine yet, but I really do want to. And I mentioned before, this is what I've been waiting for to get an Elite controller because I've never owned one.
Yeah.
And so as soon as I saw the original announcement that they were coming with Design Labs, I'm like, all right, I'm waiting. And then as soon as they announce this, I'm going to probably pick one up. So yeah. What about you, Sean? Are you going to get? Because I know that we talked about it before. I know that you're kind of maxed out on controllers. Does this do anything for you specifically and make you want to get one of these?
Yarden in the chat actually asked, new Xbox Drive controller when? We have our social media intern, Court Lalonde, went rogue and designed one for Carpool Gaming. I suppose you and I should revise our Xbox Drive controller because we have one. Actually, the rubber edition. Yes, I have it in my hands here on the YouTube channel. So it's actually quite dusty. This is disgusting. So probably should have a version of that. I'm actually less it's less about being maxed out on controllers and more about like I hate slamming this controller, but my Elite controller I had before didn't last. I had problems with the A button. I had problems with the right bumper. I haven't necessarily seen much on the front of the manufacturing process has been adjusted or changed. Not to totally dissuade people, but like I just be careful on some of this stuff, I guess. Yeah. But I'm loving the design. Like Quartz Carpool Gaming design, I think looked great. Donnie Reese had one with like some like purple highlights on it. I thought looked amazing, and it's one of my favorite things. It's so like social and community driven and viral. You can design this thing and then just share what it looks like. I think it's awesome. So this Design Labs continues to be a great thing, but I just don't know if I need another Elite controller. I guess we'll see.
That makes sense. Again, I think that this is something that's really good for someone like me who just has never had one and kind of always has wanted one.
Right.
And also, too, I think like with the core design, they might have changed around the manufacturing process to make them, more sturdy and stuff like that. Because we haven't, again, with the the core model of these has been around for a while, and I haven't heard, anyways, of like too many people mentioning that who picked them up that they've had problems with them.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping
I'll be a wait and see. But also I need this doesn't come with the buttons or like any of the accessories, right? It's just the Elite controller. So I actually want those back buttons. So I guess we'll see.
Yeah, for sure. Well, anyways, Sean, it's that time of the month because it's time to talk more about Game Pass games. So many Game Pass games are coming to Game Pass for the rest of the month. We got our drop, and here's what it looks like. So out today, there's a whole bunch of them. We got A Plague Tale Requiem out today, seeing a ton of people playing. Kevin Ainsworth has already finished this game. He basically played it for like 15 hours straight.
Dude needs a job, man. That guy is not employed. If he tells you he is employed, he is lying to you. There's absolutely no way.
That, though.
He's beaten, I think, 80 games or something this year.
That's true. He's the one person I know who's beaten more games than me this year, Sean. So
okay, so dude tries to prove his point, but he actually proves my point. Kevin is in the chat, says, I'm at work right now, actively in a YouTube chat. You don't have a job, my friend. Even if you do have a job, what are you doing right now, my friend? Just kidding. Glad you're here. Appreciate you.
Yeah. Also, Kevin, just throwing out there, as a correction, 79 games he's only beaten, Sean.
79
Gotham
games.
Knights will be number 80, apparently.
Nice.
So,
yes.
There you go. So besides Plague Tale, which I hear a lot of people are really enjoying that game, we've also got the Amnesia Collection, as well as Amnesia Rebirth, also out today. Again, the Amnesia Collection has like the first two Amnesia games in it, and it's actually really solid. I really like those games a lot. Then on
that they just did that game Amnesia with the Backtrackers, which is a community-driven video game book club, which is great. Lots of times they play games that are on Game Pass. Saturday in the Discord, people should join in 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern time. They're playing Inscription, talking about Inscription. I'm gonna probably plan on being there just to listen. I haven't played the game, but I think that's something that people should be more aware of that they can do. You don't have to play these games. You don't have to finish them. Like they have wonderful conversations about games, and if you're in the Discord, you should definitely check that out. You can see the Backtrackers video call, like the voice channel. You can just jump on in there, have a listen, be cool. Everybody's great in our Discord. So just a little shout out to those guys. Very nice.
Absolutely. Everyone's super nice over there.
Hang
out with them.
Yeah.
Well, next up on October 20th, so tomorrow, we're getting Phantom Abyss and Soma. And then on Friday, of course, Persona 5 Royal.
Oh my god.
Finally comes to Xbox. I'm so excited for this. I need that 1,000 gamer score for Persona 5 Royal after getting the platinum for it on PlayStation. So look out for that on Friday. And then next week on October 27th, we're getting Frog Detective, the entire mystery. Apparently that's like a 5-game collection celebrating the Frog Detective series.
Yeah.
On PC.
It's about time. It's what I always say.
And then we're also getting Gunfire Reborn on PC the same day, as well as Signalis, which is a brand new game as well, all on October 27th. And we've got a question about this month's lineup. This comes to us from Bowza in the chat, who asks, what is your favorite Game Pass edition for October, and why is it Phantom Abyss? So honestly, I didn't really know anything about Phantom Abyss.
Neither do I.
Bowser asked this question. Unfortunately, again, because of the timing of the show, I just didn't have a chance to research this. But honestly, it's Persona 5 Royal. I mean, please. If I had to pick outside of Persona 5, I would actually probably say the Amnesia Collection. because I love, horror games, and those are two really good horror games in that collection. Especially if you've never played a game like Amnesia: The Dark Descent before. Like, that game is scary.
Ooh,
it's so good. So
I'm kind of in the mood for something spooky. I was going to tell you that I was going to fire up Fear or Fear 2, because it's got, like, the little girl with the hair in front of her face, and I just watched The Grudge the other night, so I feel like it's basically the same thing, extended universe. Mm-hmm. But maybe I'll have to play one of these.
She's more like the girl from The Ring, rather than The Grudge.
That's true. No, they're so. I mean, this is all the same. They're all in the same world.
They're all ghosts.
It's all pipes. I still need to play Scorn, though. I really want to try this out. I know it didn't blow the roof off of reviews or anything, but it's on Game Pass as well. It's spooky time season, and before we know what we're going to be, it's going to be Christmas season. And I got to tell you, there's great Christmas movies, not enough great Christmas video games. So tis the season to play spooky games, my friend.
Yeah, that's true. We need a Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, stop motion video game at some point.
Simulator. No, just put a skin on Goat Simulator, and it's
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer Simulator. There's probably a mod for Goat Simulator that already exists.
There should be. Or Sims. Maybe The Sims is actually the Christmas game I never knew I wanted or needed.
There is a Sims expansion pack called The Sims 4 Seasons, and I don't know if that has Christmas in it. It has winter, but I don't know if Christmas has a holidays in it.
You should be able to relive the plot of the Santa Claus. Your Sim should turn into Tim Allen, find the contract, and turn into Santa Claus. Yeah.
Forget being a vampire, mermaid, or werewolf. I want to be Santa Claus.
That's
instead,
right.
Because then you also get to live forever as Santa Claus.
That's right.
Theory.
That's true.
Yeah. It's another way to
Writes
immortality.
Itself.
Yeah. But then the following games are leaving Game Pass on Halloween. So October 31st, you're losing the following: Alan Wake American Nightmare, which is the 360 game, Backbone, Bassmaster Fishing 22.
Buy it! How much is this? I got to check this out. Oh no!
Your chance to play it is fading fast, Sean.
I got to buy it. Oh no! Is it because 23 is coming out, Ryan? Is that why?
No, they're just leaving.
Oh no!
Yeah. But then we're also losing No Guns, Doppelganger Edition, Project Wingman.
Oh, that's a cool game.
Extinction.
Oh, no, dinosaurs.
Yeah, that was that one we were all excited about, and then we never played.
It was early access, wasn't it? Is it maybe it'll come back when it's full, when it's really out?
Because maybe it's going free to play. Maybe that's why. But then Cyber Elite 4 is leaving, and then the Forgotten City. Speaking of the Backtrackers, that was the second Backtrackers game, was the Forgotten City.
Yeah, you won't forget.
I mean,
Brian Murford never forgets.
Of course. So all those games are leaving on Halloween to make way for all these spooky games to come in. So definitely check that all out. Again, lots to chew on there with new Game Pass games. Well, next up, Sean, speaking of spooky games, it's something that gets me, Ryan Turford, very excited. It is Konami have announced the Silent Hill Transmission, a showcase showing off the future of the Silent Hill series. It'll be live today at 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time over on Konami's YouTube channel and their Twitter, or on their Twitch channel. Sean, I am so excited about this. First off, the tweet itself is kind of worded in such a way where it sounds like they're basically telling you, hey, by the way, Silent Hill 2 is getting a remake or is coming back in some way, because they're talking about Restless Dreams in the tweet, and the subtitle for Silent Hill 2 is Silent Hill 2 Restless Dreams on Xbox. So it just is very much strongly hinting that Silent Hill 2 is getting some kind of treatment, and that's one of my all-time favorite video games.
Yeah.
So I am stoked to see what is coming out of this. I mean, it also is the possibility that they announce a new pachinko machine, or they'll announce the Silent Hill skateboard decks that just went up on the Konami store today, or maybe there's a new Silent Hill TV show, which we've been hearing about for a little while as well. Maybe we'll get an announcement of that. But this mostly excites me because of all these Silent Hill 2 rumors, and the fact that, again, they strongly hint at it in the tweet that we're getting Silent Hill 2 news today, and I'm stoked to see this showcase, Sean. Whereas I don't think your excitement level is anywhere near mine for Silent Hill, because I didn't think you played these games, right?
Not really, but call back to... I want to know, anybody who's been listening to the Xbox Drive for many, many, many years, when back in the day where we used to burn gasoline to record it, there was a section of my drive into work that I lost connection. It was reliably, like my cell phone would actually cut out. I would come back in afterwards, and we would call that the Silent Hill. That's as much connection as I've gotten here. I'm glad it's happening. Like, obviously, hugely important franchise. But yeah, I would always play like snippets of it over at Neighbor Matt's house on PlayStation. Yeah.
And it's also just crazy for me to think about too, because if this is actually happening, and we'll talk about it, obviously more on next week's show. With whatever the news is.
Yeah.
Like it has the potential of having a new Silent Hill game, a new Resident Evil game, a new Dead Space game all next year. Like that's like the Ryan Turford dream lineup. I can't wait.
It's interesting because what I remember of Silent Hill, maybe I am misremembering or mixing things up, but like I remember dialogue being quite cheesy in it, right? Like, but that's been the case even in Resident Evil as well, and it still holds up now. Like, you just kind of accept it for what it is. It's horror, like it's meant to be. It's not really taking itself too seriously. So I'm very curious on like how that lands in 2022. If we get too hard on it, or if it's okay. So I'm very curious to see this transmission. But yeah, I don't have the history like a lot of other people do.
Yeah, like I imagine it's going to be a similar situation if they do a remake of Silent Hill 2. It'll be probably similar to like the Resident Evil 2 remake, because in the same way, like you still had some of the cheesy dialogue in Resident Evil 2 remake. But, the scares were definitely there in that game. Just like the scares are definitely still there if you go back and still play, Silent Hill 2. That's still like a pretty scary game. And then there's like some actually really good parts of the story that, again, I don't want to spoil for anyone who's never played it. And then one of the fun things about Silent Hill 2, of course, I think I told you about this on the show before, is there's like 7 different endings, including the ending where it just indicates the fact that the game is been like fully orchestrated by dogs, by like this corgi secret society. You walk into this control room and there's like this dog like operating the levers and stuff. Like there's some really goofy stuff in there, but there's also like some truly horrifying stuff in Silent Hill 2. So yeah,
I would say that's pretty horrifying. If corgis are behind the scenes pulling levers, that's terrifying stuff, man.
They're making all the spooky stuff happen. Pyramid Head, he exists because the corgi. It was a setup by the.
Can't be the corgis, man. They're not responsible for anything. They only know cuteness.
It's true. It's true. That's why you can't be too mad at them, regardless of what happens.
That's true.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Resident Evil, Capcom have announced a Resident Evil showcase that is happening on October 20th. So that's tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. This showcase will feature both Resident Evil Village's DLC, which comes out next week, and then Resident Evil 4 Remake. We're going to get more information about that. So tune into that tomorrow. Again, I'm excited to see more of, Resident Evil 4 Remake, because we did see that little snippet before, and that's really all we've seen for the game. And the Resident Evil DLC coming out next week, I'm like very excited to play that, because it gives you the third person mode for the game, but also the Shadows of Rose DLC looks really good. So nice. I'm actually thinking of going back to Resident Evil Village next week, even though there's a bajillion games out. I'm pretty sure I'm going to go back and make time.
Get a job, Ryan.
I have a job,
and that's my response anytime I'm jealous of somebody else how much they get to play games. Like, get a job. Come on.
Exactly. But yeah, so I'm excited to see the showcase tomorrow as well, to give us more games to look forward to. And then last but not least, speaking of showcases, we had a showcase for The Sims yesterday, Sean, and EA have announced that The Sims 5 is in fact a real game that is coming soon. It is called Project Rene for now, until they have like a actual title for the game, because we don't know if it's actually going to be called The Sims 5 or The Sims something. But they showed off some of the gameplay of it, because they showed off some of the building aspect where they showed off the fact that you can place furniture now on like curves and stuff like that. You can have like a full color wheel to customize the different parts of your furniture. You can also have like multiple people design a house together, which is interesting. So yeah, no timetable on this one, and the only platform we know of at this point is PC. So yeah, it'll probably come to phones at some point, or consoles at some point. But I'm stoked. Again, we've talked about The Sims for weeks and weeks and weeks, and as much as I've been playing Sims 4. I'm really excited to see what they do with Sims 5, and what they showed here looks promising as far as, the building aspect. And I'm excited to see how they change around the gameplay elements and kind of the day-to-day sim life that you got going on there.
I can't wait for you to have your whole crew. It sounds like if you're able to design a place all at once, it's so funny. Like these are probably features that really matter in The Sims, but it's like, if you're not in it, it's like, okay, color wheel, like, and you can put it on core, like, okay, I guess, like, it's such an interesting thing for like the hardcore fan base. Go like, I can't believe this is real. Like, yes, finally we have this. So that's great. The other thing that comes to mind is like, good for EA for saying that this is a real game. Meanwhile, Nintendo is saying like, there's nothing happening in Animal Crossing. This is your chance, EA. Sims sounds like an amazing time, man. It sounds like they've got everything figured out. So very, very cool. And also out of nowhere, this thing. Like, I don't know if you were expecting. I'm not in the community like you are. You know, you're
they basically announced the showcase like very late at night the night before.
So
and
weird.
Then it was just there the next morning.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But also, I think the other takeaway here, Ryan, is like, do you think, because normally EA would have something at E3.
Right.
Do you think that this is something that lands better just as a thing on its own rather than fluffing out an E3 conference where most of us are just excited about like whatever Respawn is doing?
I think so, especially because I think like the next time we see this game, it'll probably have its own showcase.
Yeah.
And it'll just be like very in depth with what you're getting from this.
Yeah. I hate to say it. Yeah. Because I don't want E3 to go anywhere. I like it. That's why I'm always cautious about being overly critical about like, this should be there and this should not be there. Like, then you get nothing, you know, because you can't please everybody. So,
well, I mean, but EA, you know, we still know that they have tons of stuff coming out next year, though. Like Jedi Survivor is out next year from them, and Madden and everything, all the other games that they have coming out. So,
yeah,
EA's got lots of stuff. They'll probably have their own E3 thing next year, and they don't even need The Sims to be there. Like it can be its own thing. Just like, because I think like the way Nintendo handled Animal Crossing with its update and doing its own Nintendo Direct for Animal Crossing is kind of the model that The Sims should go here.
Agreed. Yeah.
Anyways, let's let some of our friends into the car with us, Sean. It is time for the carpool. And we're going to start with the Muffin Mon, a.k.a. Kevin Ainsworth. And also, huge shout out to everyone who submitted questions this week. I know we were a little bit last minute with the questions this week. So huge thank you to everyone who took the time an hour before we went live to submit questions this week. So Kevin asks, hello, my Extra Life teammates, insert plug here. We already plugged it, but, you know, again, save the carpool trophy, hand over there.
Nice.
But my question is, why are people so upset about games like Gotham Knights only being 30 frames per second? I understand being disappointed and preferring 60 frames per second, but boycotting the game seems excessive to me. I had actually seen people saying that they were boycotting the game because of the 30 frames per second thing. But, I mean, I can sympathize a little bit with the notion of a game with fast-paced action, you know, wanting 60 frames per second and, you know, being disappointed that it's not there. Especially because even when I talked about it, you know, when we were talking about Valkyrie Elysium or, you know, being excited for games like Bayonetta 3 coming up and stuff like that. Like, if those games weren't running at 60 frames per second, I think it actually would have hindered the experience and just made them feel, you know, less fun to play. So I just hope that, you know, with this game being locked to 30, the developers at, you know, WB Montreal were able to at least hone the gameplay to make it feel natural and fluid to play at that frame rate. And that's all I ask. So as long as they do that, I'm still okay with it running 30 frames per second, because we haven't really had a Batman Arkham game run at 60 on consoles. Like, that, it never has. Even when they did the Return to Arkham collection, you know, a couple years ago, like, those games don't run at 60 frames per second either. So I'm kind of accustomed to this, but Sean, what do you think about this?
I think the word boycott is maybe just being tossed around a little too much these days. Like, I think you can choose not to buy something based on various criteria, and that's just you not buying a game. I think the word boycott is just like, oh, okay, let's take it easy a little bit. With that said, disappointing to me. This and actually kind of just speaks to yet another bullet point in the messaging about this game that isn't really all that great. So I don't think it's that alone. I just think that the journey of this game has been a little bit tricky, and this doesn't add any confidence to me, especially that it's being added in last minute here. Like, oh, and by the way, here it is. Like, they realize, oh snap, but we haven't told anybody about this, and it's going to show up in reviews, and that probably won't be a good look. Let's try and get ahead of that. So I'm on a wait and see on this one. I'm not boycotting. I'm not telling anybody else to like not get it. I'm not making a point of not buying it or anything. But just like informing my own position and opinion about this game over the last however many years we've been talking about it. It's like, We'll see. I'm hopeful that it's great. And I would love for there to be an example out there where it's like, this game is great even though it's 30 frames. And Plague Tale, I think, is also 30 frames, not exactly the same thing. So it's not like it's this blanket rule, thou shalt be 60 frames a second. I think the type of game this is lends itself to probably should be, but I don't know. Maybe there's something amazing that we haven't put our hands on yet. So we'll see.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. Like we don't. I especially don't like judging the feel of a game before even playing it or before it even comes out. Like this is the type of conversation that, like, I would rather have after we've played the game and be like, well, it doesn't feel right playing at 30 frames per second, or maybe maybe I'll be surprised when I play it, and maybe I'll be like, well, even though it doesn't run at 60 frames per second, it plays great. So it doesn't
what
matter.
if they patch it? That's the other side too. It's tricky for them to message it. Like, I actually kind of expect them to patch it. And if I'm saying like I'm not day one, I would actually wait and see if they're going to do that. They haven't said it. That's not being promised.
Well, here's the thing. There's some information we got, that kind of, seems to indicate that they probably won't patch it, because I don't know if you've seen the PC specs for this game, Sean. To have this game
monstrous
run at 60 frames per second at 1080p, you're pretty much going to need close to a 3080 to have that happen. Which of course is, you're going to need a PC.
But that's why it would take a patch.
Than Series X, right? So,
I understand that, but that's why they would need to update the game on how it runs.
They'd have to find a way to optimize it.
And that's been done before. Like, we've seen that Horizon got an update last year on PS5 that helped it run differently as well. So yeah, like, we could see it. It's in the realm of possibility.
Or I'm curious, like, what if something like, because we know the FPS boost as a passive feature for the Xbox Series X is a feature that exists.
That'd be interesting.
Console.
Yeah.
I wonder if they could do something like that with the game and have it, even though it doesn't actually run at 60 frames per second, it like tricks the console into running it at 60 frames per second.
Yeah, so, interpolating every second. Yeah, the frames in between. I could definitely see that. And again, they're not promising this, but they can't message that ahead of time. They can't say, we're going to launch with 30 and 60 frames coming later. They want to sell the game day one. They don't want you to have any reason to buy it at a later date. So
yeah.
Heavy topic, man, for sure. So we'll see. Lots of conversation going around this game.
Yeah, exactly. Well, next up, we're going to bring in Court Lalonde, who just rejoined us in the chat, who asks, if you could dress up like Mayor McCheese for Halloween, would you? I don't know, again, where this is coming from, other than, Court's random tweet that you shared with me, Sean. The answer is probably no, because I actually, we talked off air over this. You're going to have to see this when Halloween happens, but I actually have a Halloween costume already to wear on a show. And it's not Mayor McCheese, because we may, like, if you look at the calendar, folks, we have one show that usually airs on Monday that that is airing on Halloween, and I will be wearing a costume for it. But Sean, would you dress as Mayor McCheese for Halloween if you could? Yeah,
I think I could. I think I would. I actually think we should have many costume changes on Halloween. How is one supposed to choose a single costume? There's so many different things to dress up as. I could be Master Chief, Marcus Phoenix, Forza Horizon car. I could do anything, Ryan.
You could wear your astronaut suit and pretend you're like your guy in Forza Horizon.
I could be like an XP bonus board or something. Totally.
Yeah.
No, but I'm not bad. There you go.
All right. Next up, question from Blaze Knight, who asks, if your sim was going to wear an outfit in a game, what outfit would it wear?
We answered it.
Yeah.
Astronaut suit. Obviously.
What else do you need? What else do you need? Or, a chef's outfit, or, whatever your career is in the Sims.
And a face tattoo.
No face tattoos.
It's the Sims.
No one likes face tattoos. And then last question of the week comes from Naga Chaka, who asks, when is Ryan finally going to stream the Sims playthroughs? At the very least, share something on the Carpool Gaming YouTube channel. Again, I don't think I've ever heard, anyone actually mention this, Sean, before. So this is just a surprise to me that people would even want to see.
Record. You're driving me nuts. Like, hit the capture button or something. Get it out there. The people need to see it, even if it's just like, or you could like privately stream to the Discord channel. We need more noise on this. I don't know what the deal is. You have the technology. We have a YouTube channel. You have an everybody button. People will show up. They want to see this. You're driving me nuts. You lost a bet, for God's sakes, Ryan. Just do it. Just do it.
My answer is one day. One day it'll happen at some point. We'll see. We'll see about that.
You are on thin ice. You are about to get. I got Donnie Reese already quit the Xbox empire. We're gonna bring on Donnie Reese onto the show. Time to welcome on the fourth co-host of the Xbox Drive.
You're just assuming that Donnie Reese will agree to do another podcast besides play some video games, Sean.
We already do another podcast with him. Brian Murford's time is coming to an end. We've got to put some urgency on this.
Good God.
Brian Murford.
Anyways, Sean, we got to get going. But before we go, Sean, plugs go.
You can tweet Brian Murford at Ryan Turford to tell him that you need. Actually, you know what? Forget it. Ignore Ryan Turford. Don't even mention anything to him. We're not even going to talk to him. We're not even going to acknowledge that he's even here. I'm not pleased about this. The sim situation is not okay. But you can tweet at me at Sean Capri, Sean like Connor, Capri like the pants, and let's bury those damn Nintendo dads. They're sitting over in the corner, manscaping their shin in their toes and whatever else they're doing over there, their nose hairs.
Those are the two body parts you just pulled out of nowhere, Sean.
They are five years away from being the Nintendo granddads, and they're gonna need the thing that like waxes out their ears because they just got like afros growing out of their eardrums. It's just disgusting stuff all around the Nintendo dads. So support us for Extra Life, win great prizes. We're raising money for the Stollery Children's Hospital here in Edmonton, Alberta, who's actively caring for our good friend Marcus O'Neill's son. So do it, and that's it. Whoever the hell you are.
So I don't know why. I don't know if you're referring to me. Like
I don't even want to say your name, Brian Murford.
It's not even my name, but okay. As for me, you can find me on Twitter at my real
Brian
name,
Murford.
Also, you can find us on Twitter at Carpool Gaming if you want to talk to Courtney Lund. You also find us on YouTube, youtube.com/Carpool Gaming, on podcast services around the globe. So for Sean Capri, I'm Ryan Turford, and this has been episode 262 of the Xbox Drive. That's a palindrome, folks.
Oh.
And we're out. Bye.
You're going to touch your pitch the whole time. Touch your pitches.
Greater than